Afterimage. This game has a parry, so it makes it into parry review. So when I saw this game on YouTube, I thought, wow, this game looks awesome. And then I couldn't quite tell if it had a parry or not, so I had to do like a deep dive on the internet to figure out if this game had a parry or not. Turns out it did. And I did some research, and you gotta level up in order to get the parry. And I thought, you know what, this game looks good enough that I'll put in the work. I thought, what's the worst thing I gotta do? Just play for 2 hours? Okay, so the first parry that you get is the greatsword parry. That's not really the parry you want. The parry you want is the katana parry, or the blade parry. In this game, katanas are called blades, and then double-edged blades, like knight swords, are called swords. But anyway, yeah, the parry you want is the katana parry. But you're gonna get that one last. You're gonna get that one last. First, you're gonna get the greatsword parry. So the greatsword parry, there's two ways you can use it. You can do the regular greatsword parry, or you can time it perfectly and get the perfect parry. Even if you time it perfectly, you still absorb 20% of the damage, and then you deal back to the enemy 80% of the damage that they would have dealt to you. And this is why I mentioned earlier that the parry that you want is the one you're seeing now in that boss fight. You want the katana parry, because it negates 100% of damage, and it reflects 100% of damage back to the enemy. So all the damage the enemy would have done to you, you deal that damage back to them. And you don't take any damage, and it doesn't consume any magic, none of that. But you see, this game has a problem, because before you even get the katana parry, which is called Judgment 1000 cuts or something, Judgment cuts. I'm sure that's a shout out to Devil May Cry 5. Before you even get the katana parry, you're gonna get first the greatsword parry at level 20. And it takes 3 to 4 hours to reach level 20. So this game is gonna make you play it for 4 hours just so that you can get the inferior parry light, non-full version of the parry. Then, the katana parry, you have to reach level 40, I think, if not more, and then you will finally learn the katana parry skill. But for the katana parry, it's even worse. The skill is not naturally in your skill tree. You have to find the skill scroll in order to learn the skill. And for both the greatsword and the katana, you have to find a greatsword in order to do that skill, and then buy the parry skill for the greatsword. And for the katana as well, you have to find a katana, find a blade, and then find the scroll, and then buy the parry skill. So if it takes 4 hours just to get the greatsword parry, which is the lesser of the two parries, it takes what, 8 fucking hours to get the parry that you actually want in this game? I mean, after that amount of playtime, whether the parry is good or not, does that question still even matter? 8 hours of gameplay just so you can parry, if not more. It might be 12, I don't know. I didn't reach the 12, I just got the greatsword parry, and I gave up. I gave up after that. This footage that you're seeing here, this is a friend of mine. This is a friend of mine that has time to put in the hours into this and just grind that. And he showed me the katana parry, and I'm like, oh, cool. So, let's rate the parry in this game. We're gonna deduct 1 point on the parry metric, just because it's torture. It's torture to make a player wait this long in order to parry. So for Afterimage, The parry's getting a 6 out of 10. It should be a 7 because it's a good parry, but it's getting a 6 out of 10. And on the fun and enjoyment scale, I'm giving this game a 5.5 out of 10. This is just another Metroidvania. It's also kind of a mindless button masher as well, because since you don't have any real defensive options, except for dashing away, because it's not even a dodge, you don't get iframes on your dodge in this game. So you have no real defensive option. So when you encounter an enemy in this game, you're just like, oh, gotta attack. Since there's no defensive options, the game doesn't really reward you for timing your dodges or your parries. I mean, you don't have parries in this example that I'm giving right now. You don't have a parry yet. All you have is your dodge. And you're not rewarded with a perfect dodge either, so because you're not rewarded, you're better off playing a low risk, low reward type of game where you preemptively dodge super prematurely, get out of the way, just because you're not rewarded for knowing the enemy's timing. So there's no reward, therefore you will play as cheaply as possible and try to do long range attacks with the scythe or something, or with the whip. This game is just a mindless button masher, and it's a Metroidvania on top of that. This other game, Deviator. Deviator is still a Metroidvania, but because you have the parry always, it motivates you to play. This game doesn't have that. It's just, you move from left to right, you see an enemy, you press the attack button, and you jump when you see a platform, and you dash if the platform is far away. That's it. That's all this game is. So, you know, so it gets a 5.5 on the enjoyment scale because it's not a completely garbage game, but it's right a mid. It's maybe slightly above mid, but it's mid. This game is mid. Even if someone sent me like a file which has the katana parry and I just load that save file, I would still be pissed that I had to do that in order to access the parry. It's just like Elden Ring with deflecting heart tier. It's like they make you kill like 3 bosses and download the DLC before you can even get deflecting heart tier. It's so stupid. Why would you do that? So yeah, I'm upset. I don't like it when games do this. So thanks for watching. Take care and enjoy.